NASCAR goes hand in hand with an ice cold PBR. Ain't got no class, ain't got no cash. Been on over. You can kiss my white trash. All you white trash folk who like your smoke. Gonna step outside, gonna get real high. Ain't got no class, ain't got no cash. Been on over. You can kiss my white trash. Whoa, yeah, boy. Ain't got no class, ain't got no cash. Been on over. You can kiss my white trash. Ain't got no class, ain't got no cash.
Oh, yeah, we are back and we are live. Y'all were wondering for a second. Y'all were wondering. But we got you, baby. We got you. What's up, everybody? It's that NoOner show. Welcome. Yeah. Man, back in the action, back in the making computered up.
Yeah.
Technology up.
Haha. Technology.
Yeah, buddy.
Double
Tell
time.
me how you doing. What's good, man? What's good? Vern White 4 on Instagram. You know him as the card man. How you doing, baby? What?
I'm bushy. I'm bushy. I'm bushy Silverman. Doing good. After Friday's debacle for us. And it was technological debacle. The computer completely shut down. So it's amazing because I got this one fixed. And then sponsor ordered me a brand new computer, which I've got to get figured out. It's a gamer computer, so it has a higher speed. And it has a terabyte, 32 gigs. So I got to figure out that computer, and then I'm gonna have watch out, folks. This old man turned into a hacker once I get that other computer turned on. Even though I ain't ever hacked anything in my life except the port.
Let's just dial in, Facebook. Okay, let's just crawl before we walk, baby boy. You know what I'm saying?
No, you know me, just like last week. I'm always shooting for the stars. I told you.
Let's shoot for the stars in a way that's attainable. Attainability.
Think of everything being attainable. Nothing is out of our grasp.
Yes, exactly. But
no buts.
As the Buddha would say, if you don't plant a seed, how can you expect a garden?
Oh, I've been planting seeds.
Okay.
the last 30 years.
Not with computer knowledge, you have not. Okay.
No.
So don't go metaphoric and esoteric when I'm telling you, let's make sure you can podcast before you start trying to hack. Okay. I just want to make sure I got you.
Oh,
you
I got
the
that
equipment.
flip-flop.
The most important thing to me, and I'm, inherently a narcissist, so all that matters is me to me. However, is that you can podcast, okay? We're doing a thing here, and I need you for that thing. So,
I can do it from prison.
yeah, no, yes.
We can podcast from prison. That would be
I'm not
cool.
worried about prison. I'm worried about your computer starting. Okay.
Oh yeah, true that. Hey, just stay off Pornhub.
It's like, okay, imagine if we were plumbers. You know what I'm saying? And imagine if we're plumbers and we got a great little plumbing thing, and you're like, I'm gonna take my plumbing wrench and start working on cars. I'm like, okay, that's great, but if your wrench breaks working on cars, we don't have a plumbing business. So
it's a water fueled car.
Water
fueled car.
No, see, none of that exists, Vern.
Keep it on track, Mike. Keep it on track.
It's the guy doing all the work that cares. My bad.
Yeah, you do.
You just sit here and scream and get new free things. I have to
I know you care. That's the
use
thing.
my busted fucking use shit and try to take over the world with it. It's exhausting. Anyway.
Hey, I'll send you some new shit somehow. You just tell me what, and hey,
Don't want it.
I'm a
want to earn it. When we have a studio that was completely built off of me and my crappy, basically given to me by my company because they didn't want the computer. They're like, we don't want it back. It's not worth $50 on Marketplace. They're like, you can have that computer. And I took that and built to where I'm at now, which may not be all that far, but compared to where it was. But I took a busted little laptop, basically, a busted Chromebook, not even a decent laptop.
Ooh,
a donated Chromebook.
Elementary kids Chromebook.
And here we are, and I've been able to, go around the world. Well, around the country. I've been paid to go around the country, promoting events and managing and producing events, what I love. And then, I have friends around the country now, and, we're building amazing things. So, yeah, man, it started with a Chromebook. So anybody who says until I have, look, man, I literally would pop the Chromebook and hit go live on Facebook. That's how I started. Joe Rogan started with a stupid microphone. You know what I mean? Like one of those.
People are doing it through this now.
Yeah, they call. Yeah.
It's chunky, wanky, twanky.
You got a nice new phone too. Those new phones.
No. This one isn't new. My new one, I traded in. I had
new to me. Okay.
Well, here, it was a flip. It was one of those fancy flips. The new ones.
Okay, I want to ask about those. Those never seem to work, right? They keep trying to come out with a new one, and then every couple of years or so, they try to come out with a new gen of flip phones, but they seem to never work. No one I know ever keeps them for whatever reason.
Yep. I got it in one of these drawers behind me. But that new one that came out 2 years ago from Samsung. The thicker, the flip, the clear screen. So when you flipped it open, it was supposed to look like a flat screen. Well, it's here somewhere. Forget it. I didn't plan for it. But the screen in the middle, after wear and tear, and like a piece of dirt will get in there, and then it actually cracks right down that seam. When it's lit up and stuff, you really can't tell. But actually, when you run your finger over it, it's such a crack that you can feel it on your finger. So it was like, all right, this phone is this much. And I had at the time I had two phones on a plan, and this was the lesser expensive. This was like the low end Samsung, the low end. So I was like, okay, let's cut off that flip phone because it's busted up and it cost me more anyway. So let's just go this cheap, non-flip flat phone. Yeah, keep it simple, stupid.
That's in my a new phone is definitely on the list, but look, man, there's a lot of
there's so much
on the list. You know what's on the list right now? Electricity and internet. You know what I mean? As long as I can keep doing the thing. So it gets to be either you are an inspiring visionary struggling for your goals in life and an example of what we should all be in believing in ourselves. Or man, you're like a crack addict with this podcast thing, dog, and you're gonna have to, you're gonna have to figure that it's doing everything a drug addiction would do to you. So
Well,
we're
I
gonna
see
have to figure out how to either manage and or get you rehab. So yeah,
rehab, not again.
not again. I've never been to rehab actually.
Oh, you've missed out on life, brother.
Well, I just mean as a sober person, most folks I know have been to rehab, and that's great. I think that's great. I didn't.
And as an ex-railroader, a lot of railroaders actually what I learned in rehab, and this was back in 98, 98, Parker Valley Hope, Parker, Colorado. Shout out. Shout out to the medicine man. He was my therapist or sponsor while I was there.
Right.
The medicine man. Shout out to all that getting sober. But transportation companies, pilots for airlines, railroaders, the transportation company employees, that's who was there. A couple crack whores, I met a cool blues guy from Detroit.
A couple of culvert dwellers.
Yes, that was Tammy. We've talked about Tammy. But anyway,
Sweet Tammy or sour Tammy, depending on the day. Anyway,
sour sucky Tammy. Left her crack.
She was like
on her back.
I don't. Okay.
Back.
Yes.
Boom.
Too early in the show. Too early in the show.
Sorry. 2 hours in. We got to wait for that.
Yes.
Anyway, but the transportation companies were the highest end percentage of businesses that were at Parker when I was there.
Right.
Met a couple pilots. They were athletes. Athletes' parents. So it was amazing. At the time, it sucked. I tried to run away a couple times and hide, but didn't work out. They always found my ass. But, in the end, what a great experience. If you carry through with it, you follow through with it, Mike, not through rehab, but, through being sober, staying sober, sort of the same sort of deals. You just didn't go into a building for a month to get taught those things.
Yeah, and you excuse me. The principles are all the same, and you have to follow them, and you have to be real with it. I think, man, the whole thing is, and it's something that I tell everybody. I wish they could all go through the steps, and I mean that in the kindest possible way. But what I mean by that is, I wish everyone would have to take an inventory, a brutal and honest accounting of who they are, who they feel they've wronged, what they have to do to make amends on some level for that. Because the thing I feel like we're missing that's hurting us is accountability in this world. We're taught that if you have a problem, okay, so
people can't make sense anymore. People can't say they're sorry.
I think, well, and even past that, just one of those, like, okay, if we believe differently, we have to fight because I can't let that go. Because I'm not a whole person who can allow you to be a whole person. And we can find disagreements on the edges, but at the core of who we are, we need and want and hope, mainly, if you do the list, the average person and living in the average apartment complex or neighborhood, save for, and right now I would say that the numbers are getting smaller, but the average person wants the same thing. Look, we all need the same thing. I promise you this. If you don't eat, sleep, and drink water and breathe air, you're gonna die, right? That's basic. We can all agree to that. We can all agree that the better you're able to do all of those things, the healthier and happier you'll be, hopefully. Most people that are pretty healthy have their problems, but are a lot happier on some level than people who don't because, hope, right? So, so then you get to that. And then you get to, well, what does everybody else want? Wait, man, you want the people you love to be okay. You get to a certain age and you realize you can't fix everything. You can't protect them from everything, nor should you. But you want them to be okay. Your family that you love, your significant, your
I love you,
whatever,
Mike.
nieces, nephews, children, whatever the case may be. So
I look out for you, brother.
Yeah, man. Well,
I'm your back guy.
But you know what I'm saying. You know
Yeah,
what
I
I'm
do.
saying.
I
So,
do. I do. Yeah. The thing about all of it is, though, is you have to be accountable for every action,
right.
accountable for every wrongdoing, accountable to the things you said or did to every person you wronged. And you actually have to dig in that memory that you put back that you don't ever want to look at, right? Because you know you did wrong. So you throw that back there. But you got to pull all that up. Be honest about it. Be honest with the people that you treated that way. And that's hard to do. That is hard to
Yeah.
do. Self-inventory, it was one of the most difficult things I had to do when I was in rehab because
Yeah.
our self-inventory was written out. It wasn't just like this mental sort of, okay, I need to do this. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, trying to go from the worst to the least, so that way you handled really what need to be handled for sure, and then worked your way down to the ones that, might have been a little less impactful. But there was a lot of wrong.
Yeah.
Hell, I had to go to a bar and apologize for peeing on their pool table when I was a drunk after I got sober.
Well, I mean, if that made your list, we all have our own list, and that wouldn't have been on my. That'd have been on my top 9
yours.
awesomest ever things I ever did list, but maybe not on my make amends list.
It's
So,
about halfway up that list. I got a lot.
look, man. Here's the way I feel about it on that level, especially if alcohol was your drug of choice. The by far the most addictive and popular drug of them all. No one wants to talk, and the most damaging and harmful. However, besides all that, the way I look at it, okay, so people who own bars and sell liquor get what they deserve. And I don't mean like bad, like no harm to them. But man, if you got drunk, rowdy people doing drunk, rowdy things in your bar, here's the deal. If you run a trap house and people act addicty, you expect that, right? You're running a legal trap house. The only difference between the drug dealer on the corner who's going to go to prison for doing it and you is that you get major media and news and all advertising outlet help and a social structure that is designed to push people into your business, right? So it's different. Could you imagine? Okay, so it's drinking Budweiser, this Bud's for you or whatever, right? Could you imagine if it was shooting up my heroin, this H for you? It's like, what? Wait, what? Smoking up my crack rock, this crack for you. It is a bunch of crackheads sitting around a crack house, just empty couch, crappy clothes, sores all over them, this crappy one-room squat place. And it's like, this crack's for you. Hey, buddy, what are you going to do after a long, hard day? I'm going to smoke me some crack. You know what I mean?
You're the absolute worst jingle writer I've ever heard in my life.
I'm the best jingle writer you've ever heard. Or the best and you don't even know it, bro. I was trying to make it sound unappealing. Look, see, I was trying to make it sound unappealing. How are you going to come at me? This is not a jingle writing competition. This is a recovery competition. Conversation. Conversation, Vern.
I know. God dang, I just try to find the humor in everything. And you're throwing out your very serious point. Very accurate. About going to, can you imagine if they went like, oh, this fentanyl patch is for you. Ha ha. Exactly. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
In fact, hold on. I'll be
the
right
rhythmic,
back.
The rhythmic
Hold
part
on.
of it just threw me off.
Go ahead, keep talking. I'll be right back. Give me 5 seconds.
He's going to get something to put me in my place, I think. I think he has something particular to put me in my place, but he didn't have it out today because he thought I was going to behave. And when we started out with this conversation here, it didn't go the way he wanted. So I think he's getting something to blackmail me, maybe. Did he have maybe a picture of me he's going to blackmail me with? Oh, he's going to blackmail me with a guitar song.
Can you hear me?
I can, brother. Do it. Bust it out.
No. Well, this guitar is out of tune. Yeah. Okay, so I love my Budweiser. This bud's for you. I love my Budweiser. This bud's for you.
Ribbit. Bud. Why? Zer.
I just want to prove to you I can write a jingle. That was 3 chords, lyrics, improvised. People get paid thousands of dollars to do that. Tens of dollars.
PBR needs to pick up my song, our song for the show.
That's true. What's your song? I didn't write it, unfortunately. But
our song. It's our
dude,
song.
I'm excited, bro. When I get to sit down and actually like mess around and write a song with you, that's going to be so fun.
Dude,
and then when you get in the computer and it's comfortable, and you can do that thing where like you can write your chords and it'll play them. You know what I mean? So what you're hearing in your head, you know, C7, you know what I mean? C7 to, you know, a B flat to an A. Oh, I can't write an A, dude. I've never been able to write an A. It's such a, I swear A is like an outlier. A.
Okay,
yeah,
so
I
go A-D-E.
Yeah, I just can't. It's too, I don't know what it is. A minor is okay, but A minor keeps you kind of locked so hard into that tone. Like trying to break out of the A minor tone for anything is real. You got to stay.
Okay.
Right.
A minor tone. Okay. The A minor, its relative major is C major. Okay. So C major, you drop down to A minor, then you go into F major, and then you go into G. Okay. And then you go right back into C. And that is the chord progression. C, A minor, F, G. Yeah. Or you can leave out the F and go C minor, A to the G, back to the F, back to the G, back to the C. So you're going 1, relative minor, 4, 5.
That's jazz, yeah.
I know my shizzle,
the jazz chords, yeah, for sure. And of course, being a keyboardist, you're gonna levitate towards the jazz and the trickier stuff.
The theory, the music theory.
I don't know what I was
always drawn to.
I don't know what it is, but pianists, keyboardists, you guys always gravitate towards the harder stuff. It's never like with guitarists. If we can figure out a way to, you know, the less we can touch the guitar, the more awesome. I mean, you know, think about Van Halen. His whole thing was, I have to do less and I'm more awesome. You know what I mean? So,
quite honestly, if you go to a majority of let's say it's theme parks, different shows you have, let's say a live band at a pizza joint or something, a majority of the time, even though people are leaders and lead singers, guitar players, this, that, and they're the show, really the conductor behind a lot of things in these shows is the pianist. You know, I was music conductor for 2 years inside a pit band at the University of Wyoming because I was pianist number 1. You know, and so I had to take charge of the guitar part, the piano part, the bass part, the drummer, and then the synthesizer, the other keyboardist. You know, I mean, we become naturally sort of like conductors. So you kind of got to know the whole circus, you know, to run the show at 8 p.m.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, in fact, shout out to my homeboy Jason. Going to be seeing him soon. He just wrapped up the 7.5-year run for being the stage manager for Hamilton. The touring company of Hamilton. There's 3. There's the New York company, there's the World company, and there's the United States company. Mm-hmm. And for the last 7.5 years, he did the World one, and then he's ran the United States one, and now he's taking a well-deserved break, you know. So, but yeah, man, I'm jealous because the one place I want to go before I die is Australia. I don't know why. I can't explain it. And then secondly, Greece, a very second closest Greece. And that's just because I'd like to see Santorini and all of that. I think it's maybe one of the most, you know, and remember I lived in Hawaii, so I've seen some pretty nice places. Yes. But Greece, I'd like to see, Mediterranean. And there's something special about that. And like, you know what I mean? Kind of the birthplace of modern knowledge and philosophy, all that. And then, Australia, just because Australia, man, to me, it's the final frontier, bro. I don't know what it is. The last, you know, big land mass before, you know, there is no more land, or, you know, you fall off the earth if you're a flat earther. So You know, but I don't know, man.
The firmament. Oh.
And I love the fact that it's a completely what do you call it? It's a giant island, basically. It's its own continent, and the fact that you have wildlife there that exists nowhere else and is, you know, ocean locked. So it had to evolve and everything in its own kind of microcosm. And I, you know, just looking at that, wallabies, kangaroos, you know, all that cool stuff, man. So
Koala. Getting high on the eucalyptus.
yeah, man. And then the surf, the food. It's just I just want to go to Australia, man. Kick it in Australia. So yeah.
Work on an accent that's accurate before you go.
I'm not gonna be that guy, man. That's the worst.
Dude,
Crocodile Dundee ruined it for Americans. But let me ask you this: where would you go? Where would you go?
2 chicks faking an Australian accent in my life, thinking I was Australian. It worked.
Okay.
2
Well,
times
yeah,
out of
no,
like 30.
to certain people in Nebraska, I'm sure a lot of things like that work. However, where would you go if you had a ticket to anywhere in the world? You can go. Okay, Vern. Here's a ticket to anywhere in the world. Hotel is covered.
Oh, I got you. Antarctica.
Nice.
That's where I want. I mean, that'd be the first way from my home I've ever been.
Frozen tundra, huh? You want to see the ice live in action?
I want to see the sky ice. I want to see the sky ice. That pure blue, just pure blue ice that you can find in Antarctica. That's what I think would be a really cool sight. Almost like a spiritual sight, because you know it is a crystal, because snowflakes and ice, you know, it crystallizes, and so it ends up. It doesn't end up being a crystal, but it appears to be. You know, this huge emerald-looking, beautiful piece of ice. So yeah, I mean, I'm down with that. I'm down with looking at Antarctica and getting more knowledge on it because of the different things that are unknown and things that are said and unsaid about that part of the world. You know, that's where you can go to prove flat earthers wrong. It's Antarctica.
Yeah. And cool part about that is we're in a time frame where people actually, well, I'm old enough to remember when it was, you know, only the government can go there and it's restricted because it's so dangerous and blah, blah, blah. Now people are able to go. You're literally able, if you got the money or the time or both, you're able to check it out.
I got time.
I think that's beautiful. I love that idea. I wouldn't go. I've noticed that. No, thank you. I'm not a cold person. I don't like the cold. I don't want to be in the cold if I don't have to. I would be in the cold to like be on the top of a mountain, right? To get that view and experience the top of a mountain view. But other than that, I don't want to ski. I don't want to sled. I don't want to build a snowman. I don't want to have a snowball fight. I don't want to make a snow angel. I don't want to have to wear layers. I don't want to see my breath. I don't like the cold. No, thank you. I lived in California from Oklahoma. I didn't, you know, move to freaking Siberia and Antarctica from Oklahoma. Why? Because I don't like the cold. Never have. Never will.
I laugh at my buddy when he comes back. My best friend, childhood friend, who lives in Oklahoma City. You know, I've talked to him many times about him. But he's become Southern acclimated, we will say. But we still have our goose hunting, our deer hunting, our hunting up here in Nebraska in the wintertime. And there's a lot of snow and it gets bitterly cold. I think last year we went to a 26 below zero one night here in Nebraska, in the West Coast or the West Panhandle. So when he comes here from your place, I don't know which side, your place, Oklahoma City, the snow treats him differently. We used to roll around outside in shorts and t-shirts, barefoot. Like, it's snowing, right? And now this guy, he bundles up. He's like, it's cold here. So, yeah, I understand that you don't like the cold.
Yeah, the wife is from Mountain Home, Idaho, and I finally southernized her enough to where like she's starting to really hate the winter. First couple of winters we were together, she'd make fun of me. She'd be like, it'd be like 30 degrees outside. She'd be like, "Oh, this is fine." I'm like, "It's 30. It's below freezing. We'll die out here. Are you kidding? This is dead." Guess what? It could be 100 degrees outside. As long as I have a bottle of water every 8 hours, I will live indefinitely. But if I stay out in this cold for 4 hours, I could die, bro. Like, this is stupid. Like,
Well,
man,
you're
who does
right.
this?
You could, if you weren't furry enough and didn't have the back knowledge in order to survive out there in that.
Yeah,
right?
man, but I don't want to have to dig an igloo when I could be sunbathing. You know what I'm saying? Come on.
Because
You
I
know
know
what
Hawaii too, and I know Maui, and I know, man, I've been there 5 times, to the islands, and every time I went, I left saying I could survive here with 0.
And people do.
Because of the weather, because of the dumpster diving, because of you got your showers right on the beach.
Well, and I mean,
right
when
off
you
the surfing, you can stay
when you're
clean.
there and you learn how to ocean pick, every tide brings you a meal and a half, man. You know how many crab when I lived because okay, so it would be homeless if it wasn't. I mean, we had no fixed address, but I was living with the lead singer of the band. My homeboy would hang out with us. We had a couple of people in the band with places where we would shower. And, you know, but we basically had a shack and we pulled electricity from a power line and ran a big, long ass extension cord. Because the keyboardist in the band, of course, was an electrician. Yeah, man, it was, but looking back, no running water, and we would freaking we would smoke weed, do a little ayahuasca or shrooms, and just play music all night. Dude, you know what I mean? Just all night.
The island life.
Yeah, and especially like in the summertime, people don't understand when you don't live on a work clock, you know, a human clock, your circadian rhythms really dial in. And what that means is in the summer, you want to sleep in the day at the hottest point of the day, because you realize that's what humans did. It's so weird to live in a place like that and see your body revert back, right? Like in the winter or in the fall or even in the spring, you're up 6:30, 7 a.m. You don't need an alarm clock. The sun is shining in the most beautiful place on the planet, and you have been created to be a part and experience you know what I mean? The exchange of life from pulling coconuts so the earth can grow more coconuts, or you know what I mean? It can be happy where you're at. Anyway, dog, I'll stop. But
no, but I love Hawaii. You're right. You're right to go off on that. We've never really talked about that with you and your life in Hawaii and you know how cool it really is. And I can confirm, you know, because just like I said, you can survive at the time. Maybe not now. Maybe there's laws and restrictions on all this stuff. But back when I went, you know, you could be a beach bum.
Yeah, no, there are people there are people I know. Yeah, you save up back in the day, it was $400 for a one-way. Who knows? And you know, you get the price line, last minute deals, but
yeah,
there are folks, and I mean, it's, you know, it's basically a couple of bags and a one-way ticket, because you know you'll never freeze to death. You know that if you know how to ocean pick, you will live on crab and mangoes and coconuts for the rest of your life and never die. You have plenty of food there. Breadfruits, coconuts, mangoes, oranges, you name it. You have, I swear I ate healthier being homeless in Hawaii. I was way healthier, and I ate better, healthier food than when I have been at my quote unquote richest or, you know, most financially well. Also, we got to take a quick pause and shout out to our chat. Of course, we got Alan Kim in the building. He's actually a Hawaii brother.
That's your brother?
It's cloudy here in Hawaii. He says, "Aloha, it's cloudy here in Hawaii. Take nothing and no one for granted. Life can change on a dime." Amen, brother. That is a brother right there. He does great stuff in Hawaii, man. He helps people.
Mahalo.
He's one of those brothers that legit helps people. You know what I mean? So absolutely.
That's awesome, man. So, keep up the positive.
Yeah, man. Alan Kim is one of those brothers who's a Facebook brother, but a true blessing in that way at this point. And when I go, man, we're going to eat some Loco Moco. I miss Loco Moco. You know what I mean? I miss Spam Musubi. Just that beach snack. I miss musubi, bro. You can't find it here. And they don't know what Loco Moco is. You know what I mean? So I make Loco Moco here.
At every ABC store. It's all wrapped in plastic, that stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Right stuff.
The musubis. Yeah, man, it's a
Yeah,
perfect beef
musubi.
snack. Yeah.
Yeah, just go hit the ABC store. They got them lined up right there in the little cooler right by the front of the door.
For sure. Also, ABC stores.
Come on.
Yes.
Another block covered.
Oh, I love ABC stores. I miss ABC
Another
stores.
block covered.
Shout out to Bolton Young in the chat. Of course, super fan in the building. We love you, brother.
That's our guy.
Always showing up. Amy in the building as well. And then Mr. Mike Calderise.
The man, Caltrap.
Brother, I am proud to announce on that I am a permanent fixture on the Friday show. I will be his co-host. Very excited about that, man. Anything I get to do with Mike is a pleasure and an honor. And I'm stoked to do it, man, because, you know, iron sharpens iron, and I feel like I'm a better dude when I'm with that dude. So go L&L Private, Alan says. L&L, bro. I love me some L&L, man. So
Well, I was wondering why you. I watched the show because I forget what time because I'm on a completely different. We're all in different time zones, so I can't ever really remember the time of everybody's show. But Mike will he'll send me a message. Yo, I'm waiting on you, bro. So I'll go, oh yeah, your show's going. So I'll click on and then I'll watch. And then I watched and I noticed your backdrop on the last show. Yours. Remember what it was? What you put on for that show with him? In your background, you got a caltrop.
Oh yeah. Because the show is the Caltrop. Yeah. Absolutely.
And I saw you with that behind you, and I go, okay, one of two things. Just throwing out support for his homie, or homie's a part of the homie.
Yeah.
Show. You know, so I was like, that's cool. That's super cool, whichever way it was. But yeah, so that's awesome. So you guys gotta check these guys out on Friday night, Mike and Mike, you know, on their show, because it's a good show.
Hey man, it scratches my political itch,
Yes.
right? And I need that
really
because it's something I'm just always going to be a little passionate about. Bro, when I was thinking about this, and when I was in like 5th grade, there was a project and it was the Bush-Clinton election, right? And I'm in like 5th grade, 3rd grade. I don't remember. Very young. And I still like did a thing where I did a survey and a poll around my school because I learned what polling was. And I just decided they were like doing extra credit project relating to the election. And I remember as a little kid, I just was like, I made a poll and I went around with a poster board and I made a picture. I took a picture of Clinton and a picture of Bush and glued them on there and just got people to do that. And I was like, just make a mark. You don't have to say your name, just make a mark. And if you want, you know, leave a reason why. So I've always been into it. And then after losing,
cool. That's intelligence. That's intelligence at a young age.
Yeah, man. Just interesting, right? And then
friends.
After losing a pretty promising entertainment career, which started homeless in Maui. You know, I wasn't homeless. I worked at a place called Mana Foods. It's not like I didn't have a job, but I didn't have enough. The thing about Hawaii, you don't realize till you don't realize in Hawaii, if you live in Oklahoma or Texas your whole life, is that you can work full time there and not have enough to pay rent and eat and have clothing and have a car. And that's just how it works. And I lived in a hostel, and thank God I, had friends, and made friends. But yeah, dude, like people don't understand in Hawaii, the economy is different.
Oh, it is.
You know what I mean? It's just in Oklahoma, pretty much. I mean, you can go to work at 7-Eleven and you can get you a studio apartment, and you can get you a used car and your life isn't great. You're budgeting. But if you're willing to work overtime, you can have literally a decent life, not even like the lowest of the low. You can have a decent life working at 7-Eleven, getting 18 an hour, 25 with overtime, work 10 hours a day.
Is that what minimum wage is?
Yeah, you have no, it's just what they pay at Sevens.
Holy cow.
Sorry. And in Oklahoma, it's for a studio apartment, it's like $1,000 a month. You know what I mean? So get you a little beater car. And you're not rich by any stretch, but you're living. And in Hawaii, everything just costs more. You know what I mean? Yeah, Alan says it's too expensive. People
Yeah, it
work
is.
2 to 3 jobs to survive. Yeah. That Hawaii was the first place I ever met where I knew people who were like, well, I'm choosing to be homeless because at least I have a car and I can get back and forth to work, or a van that I live in, but they work full time. Hawaii was the first place I ever met full-time employed people who were living in, maybe like 10 people to a one-bedroom house, studio apartment, were literally living quote unquote homeless.
Yeah.
Even though they weren't homeless, they weren't what you think of as traditionally homeless folk. They just couldn't afford the $2,000 a month rent and car and gas and insurance
On a
and
studio
health.
that shared a bathroom with 6 other people, almost like a hostel.
Yeah, that's that Democrat. That's that's the socialism in action.
Yes, that was back.
I didn't mean to say politics, but it is that socialism in action work. So
Yeah, that's. I mean, we had a lot of buildings in places like that in the United States, where I mean, I'm sure in a lot of ghettos, in a lot of the lower income housing areas. That
you say ghetto?
I
Say ghetto.
said ghetto.
Yeah, I don't care. Let's go. You know what I mean?
I said
But
ghetto.
you don't have to take my word for it.
Jesus Christ! If Elvis Presley can write a song called "The Ghetto," I can say the word. Give me a break, Elvis.
I mean, of all the words you can't, I didn't even know it was on the list. Alan says Hawaii is the second most expensive place to live in, and Amy says, how does that work? I'm assuming you mean with the finances there, and people just get by, man. The thing about it is you get by. You work a full-time 40-hour a week job somewhere, and then you go and you Uber, or you have a part-time job as a bartender or at a fast food place, and
a lot of pedal bikes.
And what sucks about Hawaii too is that there's not a big like customer service industry, right? There's not huge call centers where you can work a 4-hour shift from 5 to 9 or from 6 to 10 p.m. after you get off your your day job at 4:30. You know what I mean? And then you can rush to a 5:30. You just don't. It's just there's not a lot of that there. So.
It's truly tourist driven.
Yeah,
and the highest percentage of tourists that go are from Asia. They're the Chinese, the Japanese. The Japanese, it's amazing to see how many.
Well, I mean, Asian is the majority. White people are not the majority in Hawaii. Asian is,
No,
and that's fine. I'm not tripping. I'm just making a
fine.
statement.
No, that's fine. But I thought the flying in though, like for the 4 or 5, 6 day tourism trips.
Yeah, that too.
People
but there's more Asians than white folk, dog. That's natural.
I know that. Geez.
And Hawaii's closer to them than it is us. So.
No. I'm just saying though, it's not anymore. It's not at all the Hawaiian or the Polynesian people that dominate the islands at all. Once tourists hit,
I was gonna say I don't think it has
Asians. It's whites. I
Maybe
don't believe
60s.
it's pure Hawaiians that dominate the islands anymore.
Well, and that's an argument too. What's a pure Hawaiian? They came from somewhere. I mean, we know for a fact that it's but what's Polynesia?
Whoa.
A group of islands, right? So
Yes.
are you Polynesian and then you went to Hawaii? That makes you Polynesian Hawaiian. What about Samoa? What about Tonga? What about Fiji?
Samoans, yeah.
What about, you know what I mean? So, and anyway, it gets tricky, dog. This is that liberal idea of tracing linealogy and taking pride in that instead of who we are today and what we are today. I hate all. Now, if you want to know for yourself,
love the Polynesian and the Hawaiian culture, though.
I do too. I love the culture, but I don't need to worry about where it came from, this or that. It's the people here now. Look, at the end of the day, here's the truth. You are here because your great, possibly great grandfather kicked ass more than the guy that was fighting for that land. Okay. 2 people fought for the land. Your great grandfather won, or he lost and was subjugated, depending on your lineage. You know what I'm saying? Period. The end. And it doesn't matter if he was brown, because guess what? Brown people fought brown people for land too. And Native Americans had slaves. In fact, Juneteenth, shout out Juneteenth. I love it. But people don't realize until they study that the whole thing of Juneteenth was that the Native Americans would not give up their slaves. And post World War II, when they're like, oh, what's his name? The president, Lincoln ordered burning down, the lands, the Native American lands, burning their crops and everything. Well, it was because they wouldn't give up their slaves. And the only way to get them to give up their slaves was to take away the work that their slaves had to do. But no one really gets into the whole story.
Native
right?
Americans
So,
don't give up. They don't
And-
give up, and that's then you got Boot Hill coming your way
Exactly.
since you don't give up.
so it's just, you know,
Yeah.
you
And
can get so
Custom
deep.
got his
I'm like, you'll appreciate this as a musician, specifically a pianist.
Okay.
The other day, I'm seeing these people get into this big argument in jazz. Like somebody posted this real basic, simple thing, and it was, I want to say it was Thelonious Monk, but it might have been Miles. Was one of those guys. Anyway, they were praising a white jazz guy, right? Like it was just one of those memes, and it was like, this white boy got soul, or this white boy's amazing, and it was a picture of them playing on stage, like a Dave Koz or an Al Di Meola or somebody like that. Just, you know, a white jazz guy. We know them. They exist. Oh my God. Anyway, and somebody posted that, and you know, and then of course it was you know, oh, you sold jazz. And then jazz came from jazz and blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, okay, but guess what? Nobody mentioned ragtime. Guess what? All jazz came from ragtime. Guess what? Bro, there's a great follow on Twitter. And this guy literally, he plays and he revives ragtime. He's like, look at these old ragtime songs. You know what I mean? Like, she may be ugly, but she's my girl. You know what I mean? Like all these, I mean, ragtime was like comedy. It was Weird Al for the day.
Well,
but that's where jazz came from. And he did this deep dive because, you know, he started getting crucified for trying to revive ragtime as a white man. And he was like, look at the history. There was white ragtime and black ragtime. You know what I mean? And it came from you know, Africa and South America drums. And, you know, the North, because we know stringed instruments basically came from Asia. Right. And then the keyboard, the piano, the bonk, yeah, that's like the first European beat is the reggae beat. Think about it. You can go back thousands of years and hear that. But well, like, you know, the oldest music we know from Europe, Germany, that era, the oldest music we know from Africa. Boom, ticka doom, ticka doom, ticka doom. It's all very similar, man. So it's not a racial thing because America is core American, right? So ragtime is an American art form and jazz is an American art form, not a black or white thing. Because if you look in white majority places, they were playing jazz, and in black majority places, they were playing jazz.
It's societal.
So it's neither. There's no argument to be had. So.
Societal, not racial. Music is societal, so it comes from like your region, your area, where you're from, where what your experiences are, what your stories are. That's where your music comes from if you're a musician. So it's societal. It's not racial. You know, I don't play stride piano. I do play. I'm sorry, excuse me. I do play stride piano. I do play ragtime. You know, so I know the history of it. And I know where it come from. The saloons. The piano player was the entertainer. They didn't have a stage yet. They just had an upstairs. So downstairs drinking, playing poker, that piano player was the entertainment. So the songs had to be upbeat. They had to be fun. They had to keep the crowd engaged. So then they also had to be funny. They had to tell a story, be entertaining. But that's where like the stride saloon pianist came from, is they needed entertainment down there on that floor to keep the fights at a minimum, because music helps that in a bar or hurts it.
I think about what is it called? It's da-na-na-na. It's not the gambler. Da-na-na-na.
The entertainer. The entertainer.
Yeah. I mean, that's like what they were. The funny thing, people hear that and they take, you know, it for granted, but I think that's one of the oldest recorded songs like ever. It's all
on the original,
and it's all piano. Yeah, man. But it's one of the oldest. Like the reason we all know it is because it's one of the oldest songs, just like Hot Cross Buns. It's the oldest, like the first time they were able to record sound onto a thing and call it music, it was that stuff. And I think that's cool. And that's ragtime, right? Yeah. Entertainer is ragtime, right? Pretty much.
In the entertainer, it also has lyrics too. You know, the entertainer has lyrics.
I know, I wrote them. I'm the entertainer. My name is Michael.
The star of the show.
Master Mike.
Well,
I've got a funny hat and a partner. He's got a white uffy beard. You remember? We wrote this in the 20s, bro.
Right. Yeah, in the old times.
Yeah, we remember in 1918 when we were jamming on that song, dude. Drinking our absinthe, cutting a rug,
absinthe,
doing a
having some mercury for some fun, injecting some mercury just for good times.
Encouraging lobotomies on our podcast.
Oh, yeah, right up there.
It's good health, bro.
Yeah.
Is your wife a little mouthy? Get her a lobotomy.
Shove a spike up her nose and have her brain, temporal lobe, get a hole put in it.
Well, it sounds bad when you break it down like that. I mean,
just scratching the brain with a needle. What the hell? It helps. It helps. Science. Oh, weird science.
Scott Joplin was huge. So, yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, he was, though. He really was.
Scott
In his time, today, they'd laugh at him, but unless you put a trap beat behind it.
Actually, a trap beat behind the entertainer would be awesome. Somebody should AI that. That actually would be very easy to do.
Somebody, good idea. You need remember, we got to keep these ideas to ourselves, son.
No, it's AI anyway, man. And that's why, speaking of that, that's why I stopped enjoying being a comedian, man, because the problem with the internet is that every comedian everywhere in the America always needs and has to be on all the time. So every joke or every funny thought they're trying to post to get followers. And the problem is you can have a similar funny thought about a current event as somebody in New York or LA or Canada or, you know what I mean? Any English speaking stand-up comedy friendly country. And then it becomes a big argument over who stole whose joke. And it's like, bro, I don't even know you. You know what I mean?
You don't even know my life.
Yeah. And there are people, I wrote a joke and then I see almost the joke word for word on Facebook and all I do, man, at this point is I take solace. I take it as a compliment. I'm like, man, either I'm parallel thinking with other funny people enough to be in the mix, so good for my brain, or, I wrote something so funny that other people took it and ran with it. We live in the meme age. Nobody gets credit for the memes, but there are some brilliant memes that have gone the world around. You know what I'm saying?
Don't you think that people know you are a good writer, Mike?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
You don't think? I mean, not the guy down at Fresh Foods, that's checking me out, or I mean, like, boop, checking me out, not checking me out. Okay?
I mean, how could you blame him? You're sexy, bro. You know what I'm saying? When I be seeing Vern, I'd be all like,
Titanic, bro. Like right at the end of the bow, end of the world. No, they don't say end of the world. No, right. That's just coming. That's not what they say though. Something about the world, but yeah. Anyway. Silver waves. But anyway, bro, we got to find a happy subject now. We've been on this music. We've been on this sort of groove for the last hour. What have you been
doing? How we're flowing in and out of music with other things, man. That's the key. That's what it leads to, right?
The frequency's flowing.
Yeah, man.
But I want to know what you've been up to, because that's how we start this off, is with what I've been up to. And I ain't heard nothing about what you've been up to.
Mark, man, this man behind the curtain action, brother.
Don't be playing Wizard of Oz on my ass. I'm from Kansas. I was born in Kansas. Don't start that, Shizzle.
Yeah, no, man, just honestly, just work and the
time
getting prepped for the trip next week. The wife is on her vacation, so
it's her summer vacation. She with her job, so
a lot of quality time, and
awesome.
And
time.
Got the big trip coming up next week, I believe. In about 5-6 days, I believe we leave on the 11th, and I'll be in Vegas on the 12th and 13th, and then on the 14th I will be in Boise, Idaho, and then I'm going to a couple other places. I'll they're on the list, and yeah, man. So be gone all in all about 7-8 days, and and we're getting the only thing I'm gonna miss is not being able to keep on our podcast schedule like I'd like to, but we'll bank some stuff. I'll do some live road stuff, and definitely Terry from Beyond the Slap. Shout out Terry and me are going to do a live when I'm in Vegas.
Awesome.
And the most hated man in Power Slap. That's how I like it. That's how I like it. I only but don't break my heart, dog. I only want to hang around the outcast. You know what I'm saying?
Be positive with Terry. That's my thing. I want people to treat him nicely and be positive about him. And just like any of the rest of us, I don't want to see him get stepped on by anybody and used in any way that's going to hurt him and benefit them, with all the drama that he has going on. I like Terry. I really do. And I think there's some people that are doing some
I mean, it was the ugliest of internet pylons. Cool thing about it is he's had that experience before, but this is, I'll just say this, man, because, good Lord, it took up most of my day yesterday while I was dealing with other real life major issues.
Exactly.
Literally, we had a tornado. You can look up Norman, Oklahoma. I had a tornado less than 2 miles from my home touch down yesterday, right? So, I got people throwing power slap fits and crying over power slap, which is not making anybody money or getting any of us closer to any of our dreams, hopes, visions, or goals, or helping any of our families accomplish their dreams, hopes, visions, or goals. It's a freaking hobby at best. Anyway,
what you see in your real world out your window is,
but I had some medical stuff. Was at the doctor dealing with that. Then I had a tornado. Then I had this show last night, which was our longest power slap ever and our heaviest by far. So, it was a long day yesterday, bro. But I will say the grossest thing to me was the pylon and the fact that a certain group of people in power slap really separated themselves as who they feel to be themselves as the elite, as the better than,
they're on lines.
As the higher level than. Now, here's the thing. If you're trying to build your name and a business off of power slap and the sport of power slap, then you're ultimately trying to build your business and your name off of the hard work and the sacrifice of the slap fighters themselves. Because without them, there is no promotion. So, if you're the kind of person that's going to shit on a man for working in a cafeteria, if you're the kind of person that's going to shit on a man because he's in his 40s and enjoys the sport, if you're the kind of person that's going to shit on a man for not being rich or having all the VIP access, which he has no control, you just got to be lucky and draw the luck lottery and get the right 3 people that are doing such a great job of running power slap. You know what I mean? To like you, and you have known them before, so they hand you a golden ticket and a check, so you spread their message. All of those people that do that seem to really disdain and look down upon slap fighters. Because guess what, guys? The slap fighters, the guys who actually allow you to make your living and do your thing, are cafeteria workers, are the broke dudes like myself, are the roofers, are the pizza guys, are the, the drive-through window guys, the concrete pouring guys, the guys that you disdain, that you're making fun of us for being and looking down on us for being, are the same people that you have planted firmly your hopes and dreams for success in this sport. And to a greater extent, because, this is my own show and has nothing to do with that. So me and you can be honest. That's why it's failing. That's why it's failing. You can't create something for the people and then bring in a bunch of elitists to cover it. They don't know how to cover it. They can't appreciate it. They go on and they act like these other freaking internet snobs, like that Welcome to Slap Son dude, who's going to put 2 Instagram stories out going, I'll take Terry on any day. Guess what, dude? In his inbox right now sits a link
like a fight
to the show last night. All he had to do was click. You know what I mean? And he could have been in saying his piece, really letting Terry know why Terry was wrong and how dare he, but he did none of this sort. He ran and hid like a little punk. But he sure got all the love he could when he by name mentioned the Power Slap staff and how he had them and how important they were to him. But when it came time to back up his words and to be a man, poof, gone. And this is a guy who's so busy showing us his stupid, ugly. He's got the ugliest Porsche they make. Like, god dang, get some taste, bro. What are you doing? You know, better you have a nice Honda than this cheap Porsche. You wouldn't know that because you're spoiled low class. However, get you a nice Honda better than an ugly Porsche. The people you want to be around don't respect you. That's why you're doing Power Slap shit, bro. You know, because if the people you were around respected you, you wouldn't be with us because you don't respect us. Clearly, we are too low class for you. We take slaps and hang out with and love and are part of the families and friend groups of the people who take slaps. You are not. That's why there's a disconnect. That's why you can't figure it out. That's why you can't go viral. That's why I'm doing better, not giving a crap, and literally created a show specifically to be made fun of. My whole idea when I first built Power Slap was make something so silly and make something so second grade looking with the pew-pews and the silly graphics that people will make fun of it and it will go viral. And you know what? Instead of that, it just went viral. People didn't make fun of it. It just went viral because it's that easy when there's this little competition in the game for quality media. And I'll leave it at that. But the elitism is gross. And if you're going to make fun of people who have made a living working in cafeterias, you make fun of people working as janitors and plumbers, and you as a Power Slap key news source think you're above those people, F you. Screw you. I don't like you. I don't want to be your friend because you look down on the very people that you're depending on making a living from. You know who also did that? White slave owners. So if you think that Power Slap fighters, if they weren't taking a slap for your money and your attention and your pub are beneath you, and you think us fans and the people who spend our own money and time because no one at slap fights or UFC is paying us to be special and important, if you think you're better than us, you're destroying the sport, and this is why the sport is suffering. Period. The end. I'm done.
Well, it is what they think. It is
and why the sport is suffering.
I can, and we don't talk about this here because we've agreed on that, right? Like in depth. But yo, man, every single time I went, and I'm a pretty some bitch, and I wear this hat, I wear these glasses, and I usually wear a red shirt, and I wear my cream because Huskers are scarlet and cream colored sweats with a pimp ass set of Nikes on every time I go. And every time I go, there's some sort of let's hunt the furry man down.
Well, yeah. You're fun and interesting. People want to find you.
No. I'm just saying by the management.
No, but you are fun and interesting. Hey, bro, I yoked you up for hours a week on a podcast after we interview. I was like, dude, I got to get this guy. I got no hope. He's my Obi-Wan. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and hey, I'm still the same guy. I still
Obi-Wan Vern Nobi. You know what I'm saying?
Word. Oh, I just brought the house down.
I
just reached back and brought the house down. We got plastic weapons flying everywhere.
I love how he breaks.
We've got photos.
He breaks the kayfabe. All our studios.
We collapsed, but this is mine. I did this one, everybody. This is an original Vern White.
That's awesome.
That's hand drawn.
I love that. I love that.
Sketched and shadowed by my hand. And then I did a 3D bullet hole with it's glittery stuff coming out of the holes that looks like blood. But yeah, that is an original piece by me. Word. I don't just cut cards. I ain't just a pretty face.
Okay? Hey, I was going to encourage you to think about doing a Baker Mayfield card.
Oh, dude, I love Baker. But what team do you want him
on?
Oklahoma?
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay.
Current pro. But he's one of my favorites. He was our last Heisman Trophy national championship quarterback. Met him. He was a bad boy. Always got in trouble for speaking his mind. And he was never a bad person. He was just so about it for his team. He was overzealous and wanted that so bad, which carrying him into the NFL, man, I relate. Is he the best quarterback physically? Is he the most talented? No, and he never will be. I'm never going to be the most talented, but I bring my force. By sheer force of will, I will not be denied. You're going to have to break me before I quit. And that's Baker. And I love that. So.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield, like you said, he's not like Tom Brady, or he's not going to be upper echelon, but he is a highly qualified NFL quarterback.
Absolutely.
His athletic ability, his intelligence.
And I think he proves, like Tom Brady. Also, what's his name? I have his Funko Pop. No. Funko Pop in my room. Baltimore Ravens.
Lamar Jackson.
Yes, Lamar. They all prove that being a mental and emotional leader for your team is every bit as important as being. Now, they're all very physically talented in their own way. Don't get me wrong, but they also prove, you know what I mean, that more importantly, almost than the physical talent, is the ability to be a mental and emotional leader for your guys. If you can do that, you have a lot better chance of winning. And I think it's also been proven that crappier quarterbacks can't do that with a lot of talent. I think of the Raiders a couple of years back. I kind of think of Minnesota last year. It's not that he's a bad quarterback, but he was more like a part of the team versus the leader of the team. And I'm not necessarily saying that's a bad thing, but I'm saying, man, when you got to rally your dudes when it's late in the season and Jordan Love is another perfect example. And I think he'll grow into it. I think these guys will grow into their leadership roles because clearly they got the talent. I think that takes a little time. And I think also that is a gift. That is a talent, is being a leader.
Well, I hope a lot of these guys grow into it, considering the card market.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? So that's the only reason I want Power Slap to stick around, is so you can get some money off this dang thing. You know what I mean? So yes, you have
Vern Kenobi.
There you go. I love it. You have the sword. You have the sword.
Every weapon.
Yes.
Every plastic weapon. But watch out. If you're a Ken doll, don't be walking through my front door. I got toy weapons that'll knock you out, Ken doll.
Abs, for sure, man.
Nobody wants to face the saber.
Nobody does.
No, the dark saber. Nobody wants to face the golden fake 50 cal. Nobody wants to face the fake green AR. Don't face the plastic.
I think a lot of people might think, hey, man, I could mess with Vern, but then the problem there is, what would I get? And is there a vaccine to get rid of it? You know what I'm saying? So I'll just leave him be. You know what I mean?
Because I bite. And when you bite, your saliva gets into the bloodstream.
Right.
You will need a shot. Tetanus and other. And maybe some that I don't even know about. So I may need to go get a test too. We'll all go get tested. Make it a party. A test party. Hey. And
Harry Dunning in the building, y'all.
Terry. Love him. Sorry.
Not to interrupt, but man, he dropped in the chat. We wanted to give him love, man. So
always.
But yeah, man. He also said specifically, Vern, what up, my dude? Haven't reached out in a while. Sorry, just been super busy, as you can see. So
I love you and your family, Terry. You know that.
Hit
How's
up
that little girl? Keep her safe.
Hit up the homie, man. Shoot him a message. Hey, look, Terry, man. Look. I do 2 shows a week with Vern, and I hardly can get a hold of him. So don't feel bad. It's not personal.
I ain't seen no DMs from Terry, though. Terry's been busy.
Absolutely. Oh, my God.
Going. So, yeah, I mean, I know that. So I haven't expected a DM from Terry.
And this is, brother, you
tries nice.
This is, and you know me well enough to know how well this would go over with me. And I think it's funny even anyone would attempt. But I had a couple people tell me not to have Terry on my show last night.
Who the fuck?
Or that it wasn't a good idea. You know how they tell you. They're never going to come out and just tell you you don't do this or you don't do that. They're like, I don't know if this is a good idea, or you probably shouldn't do that, or I don't know if we can associate with you. And I'm like, oh my, you know what? Thank you. Because now you're on the list of people I never have to mess with again in my life. I don't have to talk to you. I don't have to read your posts. I don't have to like nothing. I don't have to share nothing. Now I know you are persona non grata to me. Period. Oh my God. You know what, Vern? Man, you just, you know me, dog. And you know, for a fact, is like, I just feel like, you know, direct this person to my homies and ask them, how does it go over with Mike when you tell him what he should do on his show, especially when it comes to his friends and people that fucked with him when no one else would? Because Terry did. Dude, when no one else would mess with me or talk to me, Terry actually kind of broke down slap fight. He's like, I see you doing podcasts. I see you trying to like just love the sport. Yeah.
For my cards. He was the first one that really did the same for my cards. Other than the fighters that had promoted and purchased and then gave the shout outs, Terry was the first. Not the first to receive a card, but the first to have me on his show after he received a card.
Yeah, man. Exactly. And, you know, we had fighters in the chat last night talking about Terry was either the only one or the first one to give me any shine, any love in the game. And so let the elitist elite. But those aren't the fighters. Those aren't the fans. They're their own little group that are going to ice themselves out and make themselves irrelevant. And either they'll take the promotion of Power Slap down with them, or, you know, the powers that be will realize these aren't the folks to push our message. We need people that will, you know, fuel it and feed it itself. And to be honest, bro, that's the most frustrating part, is that Dana White knows that. That's how he built the UFC, was by finding people who truly loved it and giving them enough access where they went and sold the crap out of it. You know what I mean? To their people for free, just because they loved it and wanted to share what they loved. And that's how he built the UFC, but that is not how they're trying to build the slap game.
That's where they're making a mistake, because they're taking that same business plan like you're talking about, right? But they're not building it around the fans. That's why he brought in these influencers, right? It wasn't about the fans building it, even though we were and have been and still do. But they bring in these influencers and bring in one time, and he influences it one time, and he's gone. Bring in another group of influencers for the next one. They're there for one time. They're gone. I've seen Sketch at one. And that was the one him and Turpin were yelling back at each other. Get him now. You get him now. You know, I mean, that's what it was. It really, truly was. I was sitting like right across looking at Sketch, like, you know, getting all hyped up. But they bring in these ones for one fight, and then they're done with it.
And that's the whole business model now. I don't know if you've been paying attention. And once again, Terry dropped this. Terry literally broke this officially. Like, we saw things happening, but hey, man, it's the same thing. I got a little cough. It's a little hard to breathe. I go to the doctor, and it's not official that you know what I mean, that I have pneumonia until I go to the doctor. And it's like, oh, I need a much bigger solution, or to change some serious things and how I perceive living because of this condition that I now know I have. Same thing. We saw pro wrestlers coming in. We saw a lot of fighters sitting. But then Terry came out, and the whole the funniest part about all of this, man, is that my man dropped this information. Then somebody who works for Power Slap said he was lying, while blatantly it's all going on around him. He clapped back at her because she has a position. All these wannabes and all these elitists are like, we've got you. We'll protect you from big mean Terry. It's like, get the fuck, you bitches.
It was her.
And I was like, well, if you're that badass, come on the show and let's go. And then, of course, crickets and blocked.
Was it
all I get from you is silence and blocked after you talk that good shit on Instagram? Fuck you, man. You're a bitch.
Was it her?
No, it was mainly dude.
Oh,
what made me mad was dude. And I'll tell you why dude made me so mad. is because dude acts like he's above the fray and that he's cool. And even though he drives the ugliest car ever made, a stupid Porsche,
Oh,
and he's trying so hard to be he's
You're
trying
talking
so hard to be 25 years old. You know what I mean? Motherfucker posted, my daughter just graduated. I'm like, that's weird because just few months back on your birthday, you were bragging about how you and your buddy were basically wife swapping and drinking and getting high all weekend. And now you got a daughter graduating high school. Wow, dude, you should grow up. You know what I'm saying?
and younger ones. But
What?
And he has others that are younger.
Yeah. So anyway, I know he's married. Anyway, long story short, man, if you want to be that guy, if you're trying to be the guy who's like the cool hip guy, but also the fighter, the fans, or excuse me, the fighter's friend, and you're like, I'm the everyday guy. I'm a rich guy, but I'm an everyday guy. I'm a super cool hip guy, but I'm the everyday super cool hip guy, right? Okay, you can play that role. That's fine. Play that role, okay? But play that role. But if you're going to come on and act like you're the shit and you'll take Terry on any day of the week, which he literally said in a post.
No, I watched that post. I saw that one. Go, go, go.
And then I'm like, okay, well, here you go, bud. Here's your opportunity. Word is bond. Word is bond. Here's your chance to endear yourself to the organization by really letting us know, by dropping bombs, by being the one. And what does he do instead? What is he doing? He backs out. He backs out. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's all I got to say.
Hold on a second. There's something here I got for you. I just got to be able to read.
Yeah, exactly. Crickets. Well, and that's the thing, dude. Look, if he was like, Terry is talking crap and he's wrong, and here's how I know, boom, they don't have 20 new pro wrestling fighters, and boom, all of these contract and ranked fighters are booked for shows, then he could tell Terry to shut up. And you know what? Terry, having integrity, would go, you know what? Maybe I got bad info. My bad.
Yeah.
Because he's literally done that before. Terry, if you watch his channel, he's been like, hey man, I heard this info.
I said this wrong.
Yeah. And in slap fights, you're gonna be wrong if you're cutting edge because things just change so fast.
Yeah.
It's like when I worked in politics, you understand, I can release a story at 9 a.m. that at 5 p.m. is a blatant lie now. Yep. That at 9 a.m. I could give you 3 sources. You know what I mean? That's just how it works. And something as wonky as slap news that they don't have a specific press person for. They don't actually release press releases on the sports wire. You know what I mean? You're literally waiting on slap news who will block you at will because they're not interested in being actual media at all. But you have to wait on these guys to release anything because they're friends with people. I can't.
You two got some beef.
I'm done.
You got beef, though. You got beef.
I don't have beef so much as I have frustration because I don't hate any of these people. But you know who I'm the most mad at the structure of this bullshit where somebody can come on to Terry's page and go, you're lying. And when Terry's like, no, I'm not lying. You're talking shit here. I have facts and proof and watch what's going on around you. And everybody go, he's picking on this special power slap photographer. Ooh, how dare he? And then just attack him and go in and then make fun of him because he's not rich or because he's not the age he should be or whatever the fuck they're saying to attack this man personally and try to belittle and demean this man because he is what? He's actually what? Legit competition because without their buddies and their connections, they don't have shit because they didn't earn it and their numbers tell the story. Their numbers tell the story, bro. So they have nothing without Power Slap. Guess what? Power Slap could go away tomorrow. I still have a great podcast. Terry still has a great channel. They have nothing. Anyway, all right,
if we lose that, I have nothing. You'll take everything away from me I ever had.
Oh. No, Dana, no.
Oh.
And you
I'll be riding my bike to the store again. Just kidding. I'll be fine.
Yeah, man, I'll stop preaching on that. I'm just very
you're
frustrated
okay.
because look, man, dude, there's a way to grow a sport or any business, any fan-based business there's a way to grow it, and there's a way to grow it organically. And one, I think the UFC is a great example of that. I really, really do. On a business level, just as a business study, there's a way to take people that love something, let them run with it, make them feel empowered to represent it, and they will be your best brand ambassadors, your best salespeople, and they work for free. They work for tickets. They work for tickets and a laminate. You know what I mean? Which is very cheap in this world. But instead, they fly these influencers in who care nothing about the fights, care nothing. In fact, I don't know if you've seen, man, but there's like video and posts of fighters and real fans going, it's so funny. They ignore the whole thing. You know what I mean? They wait till there's like a slap and they watch it. Then they're on their phones and they're talking. They could care less about this stuff.
The other side isn't full until the last 2 fights.
Yeah.
And then they or they have one that they like and they come in and watch the one. And then they all go running back. Oh, where's Dana and gambling? Oh, where can we go sit by Dana? Can we get to Dana? Oh, can I get a picture of Dana? Be there for the fighters.
Yeah, if you don't love slap fight, hey man, and in that way, I think that, and once again, thank Terry for this. There are some great look. Terry is the only way I know about these other organizations because honestly, they all do a shitty job of marketing. But that's the thing; they're slap fight guys. You know what I mean? One of them's going to figure out I'm available, and they're going to call me. And with your art and my push and marketing knowledge, and the love of somebody like Superfan, and the brilliance and coverage of somebody like Terry, dude, we're going to be able to help someone with a promotion go to a multi-million-dollar status if they're smart and they know what they're doing. It's that simple, dude. It's that simple.
We can form a little team.
Yep. Terry said he was dealing with Mankini again, so you know what I mean. Sorry about that, bro.
Well, tell me what Max got up. I need to know what Max got up because me and Mac are friends.
Well, what breaks my heart is if you watch our last show Terry was on, he was talking about how McKinney's not getting the love and he deserves more respect. And McKinney just went after him. And he went after him because why? He needs the clout. He needs to power slap people to pay attention to him because they're just not booking him.
No, they're not.
He saw a cheap way to tag them and get them to read a post and him to be top of mind. And that was rolling Terry under the bus. And that's what they did. And that's why I had him on. Because he deserves a lot more than that, and he's done a lot more. I mean, there are guys he's literally given money to.
I know.
If you watch his post, that are talking. How do you do that to someone?
Well, and it opened his home to. That's more so than money. When you open your home, open your home to another human, and you show generosity and kindness and bring them in to your home,
especially when they're in need. When they have nothing else. And it's almost an obligation.
There's never a time that after that you have a right or any reason or any justification for shade.
Yeah.
Period. You grow up in my world, that's how it is. True. Terry opened his home to people. You never disrespect him. If you're one of those people, you never disrespect that. And if you do, you're a piece of shit.
And true story, even if you personally hate the man, you just keep quiet. You don't need to post anything on social. That is a voluntary action. It's not a reaction. It's not you got in my face and I hate you because I wanted my space. No, it's not an involuntary reaction. I picked up my phone and I typed words and I hit send. It was a voluntary action I did against somebody who helped me when I was in the most need. So you know what, man, and also, dude, it's like
it's a roller coaster though, because everything was going so good for Terry, right after 12.
But it still is. It's just because some of these special people don't like him doesn't mean things aren't going good. And he's uniquely positioned. Let me, you know what? You know that. I'm just going to say that. I don't want to say it on air.
Yeah.
He's uniquely positioned to walk away from all of this chaos with a real win.
Yeah.
And I hope he does. And I'm going to do everything I can to help him get that.
Because he's just real. And if you stay real, you be real, at some point, it's going to pay off.
Well, and he was smart enough not to go all in on one hand.
Yes.
He was smart enough to figure out that there's a lot of games being played in this casino. Yeah. I don't need to spend all my money on this one machine.
Mm-hmm.
Because what if this machine breaks down?
Yep.
What if the casino decides that we could sell this machine? Well, then everybody just solely attached to this machine and dependent upon this machine will also die. What if I had a bunch of games going? You know what I mean? One of them will hit.
Yes. Yes. But Terry, I want to say this. Kudos for the way he handled it, even on social media. I'm giving him credit because I've seen them all. I usually, and I even commented on one of them. I made 2 comments on one of his that he made, just throwing him some back. But there's no guy that has put more into the social media part of this than Terry. Just not.
Save for actual tickets.
Scraping and scrounging to do it, he does. He does whatever it takes. Takes from himself to put back in. Takes from himself to do things for the kids out there on Fremont Street. There's no other podcasters doing that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Save for actual tickets and VIP experiences, and I don't know all the packages they sell for Power Slap events, but I'm sure there are people out there with lots of money that just, you know what I mean, just go, oh, I want that, you know what I mean, and they buy that. But as far as sacrifice and income level, and save for VIP experiences and actually promoting the sport, sponsoring the sport, getting fan fighter interaction, I don't know if there's one person out there who spent more time and money, resources, right? So it's time, money, relationships, just the word resources. I don't know if there's anybody out there who spent more of their resources to promote Power Slap than him out of their own pockets solely for the love of it, man.
Yep. And even sharing love to others that he knows love it. Right? That's why he did what he did for me in my cards.
Yeah, man.
And in that same reasoning, that's why another company did what they did for me at PS12 also. That's the same reasoning around it. Nothing, they gained nothing from it, to be quite honest.
Yeah, man. And yeah.
Just helping me.
We'll talk off air about the rest of this. But yeah, man, at the end of the day, I honestly wish somebody on the other side, it literally comes down to why I became a Trump supporter and a conservative, and why I went all in on it. Because on one side, I had people going, if you listen to the facts, if you go just a little bit deeper than this headline, bro, if you look here at this, and this is what I'm seeing. This is what I'm supporting. This is what I'm voting for. Not just this crazy orange New York idiot, okay? Or whatever, or guy they love, whatever. But the point is, they showed me policy. They showed me reasoning. They showed me why they supported what they supported. And I appreciated it, and I agreed with most of it.
Yeah.
Whereas on the other side, all it was anti. Destroy the system. Destroy these people. We're victims. We want more from the system. Everybody who has more, we should be able to hurt and take from. Anybody who disagrees with us, we should be able to hurt and take from. Over and over. And I was like, okay, well, what is our motivation here? What are we doing? Well, it's for a better world and it's for anti-racism. It's like, but we're being every bit as hateful and bigoted, if not more, than the people we're supposedly fighting against. I can't do that. That's not what I'm here to do.
Let's get that Ben and Jerry's in Nancy Pelosi's freezer.
Exactly. And past that, when it became, and that's why so many people left, when it became you're not allowed to disagree. And I even saw a post the other day on Facebook where somebody posted Tulsi Gabbard, RFK, all these people talking smack about Trump in the past. And they're like, oh, none of these people believe their stuff. It's like, no, they grow and change. Just because it is foreign to you to grow and to change and to learn information and change your stances and viewpoints based upon getting new information and getting maturity and gaining life experience. If you don't change any of your viewpoints or how you feel about anything in 20 plus years, you're the immature one. You're the one with the problem. You're the one with stunted growth. Right?
Yeah.
So that's why That's why the best and brightest Democrats of all are now serving in the Republican Party. Not because they're Republicans, but because the Democratic Party squeezed out any free thought, any ideas. It was, here are marching orders and you follow them, and it is destroy the other side. To the point of violence, to the point of trying to take out the president, to the point of the Luigi guy, to the point of the guy who just, ended that engaged couple in New York City, to the guy that just got arrested yesterday from Egypt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, that's not Republicans doing this, man.
No, and then 2 days ago, either yesterday or 2 days ago, with the guy in Colorado with the Molotov cocktails, the illegal.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That guy's Egyptian. And of course, MSNBC said white man. First thing they said was white man attacked others.
He had his shirt off and he looked white. But
can I tell you, I feel a little bit for that guy, because even though he was here illegally, I think that guy just had a mental breakdown. He had a family, he had kids, he had a job. I think that, and people don't understand over there.
Life broke him.
And people understand, as a Muslim, you are inherently taught to hate Jewish people. Yeah, I said it, and it's just the truth. It's just the truth. If you've never spent any time in the Middle East or Middle East adjacent, you don't understand this. But in those parts of the world, you are just taught to hate Jewish folks. It's just what it is. It's like growing up in the Deep South KKK trailer park here. If your daddy was KKK, your uncle was KKK, you went to a KKK church, you would grow up hating black people. You just would. You wouldn't know any better, right? You'd be segregated from them, and you would just be taught what you were taught about them, and you would not know any of them, and you would probably hate them because you were told since you were a child by everyone you loved and respected and grew up around to hate this group of folks. So you would. Same thing with all Muslims in the Middle East, from the Middle East, and Jewish folk. They're just taught to hate them. Yeah. So I don't know if this guy was really trying to specifically hate crime any one group. I think he was losing it in the same way that you see a lot of white dudes lose it and start dropping N-bombs in the middle of nowhere for no reason other than that's just what it is. Now, should he be deported? Absolutely. He's not here legally. His family's not here legally. They should be deported, but I don't think he was trying to commit a hate crime. I think that was honestly a man living the everyday American experience and losing his mind, because it's a hard experience to live with a family and kids and with the pressure of being illegal. I'm sure that added a whole nother layer of pressure.
ICE has been running some pretty hard ship outs, we'll say.
Well, and good.
Yeah, good. I mean, that's their job. That's yes. But it's getting more scary then as it gets closer to some of these other immigrants that didn't go through the paperwork.
Hey, I remember Elian Gonzalez. So,
dude,
everybody forgets that was a Democratic president, and it was a military man with the M16 pointed at a child's face. But that was okay because it was a Democrat. Also, how many people did Obama deport? 3 million. How many people has Trump deported? Less than 1 million. You think that every single Obama deportation was them coming with a pillow and a bottle of seltzer water and some mints and going, hey, guys, go ahead and jump in the conversion luxury van. We're going to drive you back to El Salvador. No, it was straight up ICE raid. Same shit as now. The only difference is how it's covered. The only difference is the attitude it's approached with, man. So
hold on 1 second. Give me 1 second. 1 second.
All right.
Something odd.
Shout out to Calder Reese saying exactly, guys, tonight, 6 Central, 7 Eastern, the Caltrop drops. You got to go to the channel and check it out. Mike Calder Reese and the Caltrop. He breaks down all kinds of information and news. Goes live from New Jersey. Very active in his local community. He's in the chat. He's a big homie. We appreciate him. So are people taught, or is it learned behavior and hatred? Exactly. See, this is what my man asks on his show. These are the kind of deep questions my man gets into. We call him the working man's Joe Rogan. He'll talk to everybody and anybody. He has great guests, too. He has genius, brilliant guests, and then he covers great topics. There's a lot of humor in the show as well. So, guys, that's the Caltrop. It's on Center Cut Media. Let me pull that up for you. And that is on Rumble and Facebook. I'm going to pull that up for you so we can all see it. Center Cut. Center Cut Media. Boom. Okay, guys. So let's see here. Let me share this screezy. This is Mike Calderis in the chat, who's also podcaster himself. This is his channel right here. It's called the Caltrop. And is my man back? Give me a thumbs up if you're back, my brother.
Out the Caltrop.
Yeah, man.
That's a cool dude. This is just a cool dude.
Yeah, man. So that's his page. It's Center Cut Media. He is going to have a family of podcasts, but the first one is the Caltrop, getting going every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And like I said, I am excited to be a co-host on the Friday show. A little more fun, a little more loose.
Hey,
you know what I mean? We get into it. It's fun.
Fuck off. A little more fun. I heard that. Fuck off.
No, then his other two shows.
That's a comedian. Come on.
No, that's not.
Oh, it's not.
Comedians are funny, dog. But I appreciate the effort.
I shook the titties.
You're doing your best, and that's all we can ask. Good for you, Vern. Good for you.
I learned how to do that.
I support you.
I learned how to do it.
Good for you. You did learn how to do it.
I did.
Good for you. That is awesome.
It is. You got to have janglies, though. They got to jangle a little.
But you don't have to take my word for it.
Take mine and watch the Caltrop. Follow Mike Calderis. Follow that guy. He gets into everything. You know, and he's got his opinions, and he'll let you know what they are, and he'll stand by them. You know, and he's got his facts too. And then what I like about him is he's got his baseball. That's what I like, is when he throws out his I still play baseball.
Yeah.
You know,
well, not only that, no one gets,
and I love that. And in New York and back east, as an adult, you can continue that sort of thing in these little leagues. Where I'm at, you either go to slow pitch softball or you're just done. You know,
well,
so
and what's
really
fun,
cool.
Yeah, there are a few people as mad at sports as he is all the time. I love it. Ask him about sports, and there's something he's mad at right now about baseball or football. I promise you. You know,
especially if he's a Mets fan. I wonder if he's a Mets fan.
I don't know.
Mets or he's going to be Mets or Yankees because he's there in Jersey, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty sure he's a Yankees guy. So,
yeah. Well, I'm gonna go on the dark web and do some research on him here.
Who can cook salad? What are you saying, Amy? Anyway, we got people in the chat just having their own conversations, and I love it. Yeah, that's what it's about. You know what I mean? This is a hangout, man. This is a hangout. You know, so people want to have chats in the chat. That's the point of the chat. You know,
somebody in the chat wants to have a Cobb salad, I think.
Sure, absolutely. I love it.
It's lunchtime.
Yeah,
they should be. Enjoy your salad and listen to some BS from us.
So yeah, man. And I love sports because it is, man. Hey, gotta make a confession. Gotta make a confession, man. I have cycled back around, and I am officially back into NASCAR. That's right, I am officially back.
He came out. He came out. Oh, thank you for coming out.
Loving it, man. The new NASCAR is fun. I haven't really got into it in a few years. You know, I grew up watching it. It was the Sunday, you know, it was just on the TV while we were eating after church kind of thing and hanging out and fellowshipping after church. NASCAR was on the TV and in season. And but I hadn't really gotten into it in years. I watched the All-Star race. Shout out Norman, Oklahoma resident Christopher Bell won. So that's pretty kick-ass. And he's, you know, top 10 dude. He's a very good driver, great prospects. And he drives the Tony Stewart car. If you don't know Tony Stewart, he was a classic guy and my favorite racer back in the day. So NASCAR is fun right now, man. You're looking for something to check out on a Sunday, I recommend it. It is fun, and if you got other things to do, but you want something nice on the TV, gotta be the NASCAR, you know.
Either that or streaming 24-hour streams from the PT podcast.
Yes, that's true. Absolutely.
On Sundays all day also.
Well, actually Saturday. We run on Saturday. We give the folks a break on Sunday.
Okay.
Sunday is the only day we don't put content out.
Day of rest. We have our Sunday day of rest.
It's the only day we don't put content out. You know, and just so you guys know, if you're wondering the schedule, Mondays is a clip drop. Mondays we always drop lots of clips. And stay tuned to that because sometimes we do it on Sunday. But we drop lots of clips. Monday is clip drop and promotion, getting you ready for the week. Then Tuesday is always Power Slap time. That is in the show we talked a lot about here. Shout out all the team. That is the Tuesday show, the big Tuesday show. Then Wednesday, boom, here, the nooner, the long form, hang out with your bros. Come on in. Talk about it, talk to us, talk with us.
You can
Drop
even
in the chat. We
disagree
need
with
you.
us. Come on. I want to have somebody disagree without hate. Just disagree and have a little debate through the chat.
Thursday is the PT pod, which is the OG original, and that's interview either one-on-one or with my co-host DJ Sexual Chocolate, depending on our guests and availability. And we that is a guest-based show where we have a guest on. We just break it down 45 minutes an hour, just kind of interview on people we think you should know. It looks like tomorrow will be James Siekman.
Nice.
Number 4 in Power Slap, and we'll be fighting on the 27th. He has agreed to it. But as you know, with fighters and musicians, yeah, unless they're there when you hit go live, they're not there until you've hit go live. So,
yeah.
But yeah, James Seek Money, and that'll be fun. And then Friday is, one of my favorite things is it's totally the dessert of the week, if you will. And that is our, watch party, Cowboys of Moo Mesa. And then Saturday is the mega stream where we basically run all the shows we did in the week and then some of our favorite shows in the past 30 days or so. So you get to understand what PT Pod is, check in anytime you want. And then randomly, especially on Mondays, I like to start the morning playing some smooth music just for people to cruise and, get their day and their week set right with meditation and that kind of thing. And I still want to do a Monday show with you, but man,
yeah, we got to
dial in Wednesday and Friday first, bro. So gotta crawl for you walk. Crawl for you walk.
The only issue we've had was it was a complete technical anomaly, and that was last Friday during last Friday's show.
Oh yeah,
and we've ran so many shows.
Absolutely,
that would be our first one that just.
Oh yeah,
we had to go. Oops.
Totally.
But yeah, now we're doubly prepared on my side. Like I said, we've taken the measurements to where even if that does happen again, Mike just has to stay up on the screen for about 5 minutes. Let me switch out, relog, and we're still on. So yeah, but that's
Beyond the Slap says
newbies.
Absolutely,
nooper.
Beyond the Slap said, "Stay cool, guys. Much love." He's heading out. Thank you, Beyond the Slap. All love to you, my brother.
No, I mean Terry, Beyond the Slap, Terry.
Yeah. So, I come from the hood where we call each other by our screen names. It's just what it is.
Okay.
It's funny, different worlds. In different worlds, it's weird to call somebody by their name. In my Hotep world, I mean, it's protocol. Hotep Jesus, you know what I mean? Hotep Goldstein, Strong Dad, you know what I mean? Okay. Reef Money. Like all these people have these nicknames that are their screen names. And, I'm Fresh Mike, and that's just what it is. And like you would just be Cardman. A lot of people would know you and not even actually know your name. Yeah. You know what I mean? I mean, you can hang out with them, you could do podcasts with them, and they don't know your real name. They just that's just what it is. And then you go to the other world where if you call people by their screen names, it's weird. It's like, we don't do that. We call people by their name. Their screen name is just a handle. And it's like,
I recognize all 4 names. If somebody shouts one of them out, I'm going to recognize it and I'm going to turn around and acknowledge it. I mean,
that's why I have some form of Mike in every single one of my names.
and I'm dumb. I don't. There's the only Vern White card art is the only one that Vern White 4, but because there's a card man. I don't know. There's the Nebraska Unaliver. I don't know if I can say that other word on. Can I say it?
Assassin.
Yeah, Nebraska Assassin. Was the other one?
You're like, I'm going to create a page that's going to get automatically deboosted.
Yeah. I'm going to fight myself on being able to get my cards to go into production by calling myself the Nebraskan Assassin.
I feel much like myself. We are the cause to and the solution for most of our problems ourselves. Guys like us. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But then you're in control of it, and then, I mean, we're in control of our decisions and choices, and nobody's telling us what to do or decide or say,
And we're so lucky to be
for that free.
born in the minority, yes, of people who we're not dependent on approval. We don't have to fold and amalgamate and bend and mold ourselves into something that won't be offended so they can be accepted and kept into their group or tribe or whatever the case. The whole basis of who we are is that F your tribe. You know what I mean? I'll be it alone or I'll find my own, but I don't need to be something I'm not to get your approval.
No phony in my baloney.
Exactly.
Mofo.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. No, absolutely, man.
Just look at this angelic shine coming off me. Like a fallen one. The fallen angel. Look at it. Just so shiny. I don't know if that's healthy or not. Maybe I'm dead. That's a pale death. Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah. I'm trying to throw some fun.
Actually, no, you're not dead. Look, man, you forget you're talking to a guy who does a podcast with Michael Mann. So there is no way that like you look dead. You actually look vibrant and healthy. You look like John Cena compared to Michael Mann. Okay, so don't worry yourself too much about all that. You know what I mean? So I was just saying like a healthy Uber male. I was just thinking of random.
Yeah, I got
Uber
you.
male. So
Woo!
I mean, Michael Mann does look 3 days dead. So what I feel bad about is when he really does die, nobody's going to know for like a week. You know what I'm saying?
He'll still be on like 4 podcasts.
It'll still be Michael Mann.
Yeah.
Won't much change. The weird body twitches will just be like his comedy, you know?
His dog tugging at his leg. That'll be his movement.
He's going to be dead for 2 days and we're going to be cracking up. Like, man, he is on a comedy run. Look at this guy.
I know, the funniest he's ever been. He's killing it. Oh,
guys, if you don't know Michael Mann, you got to get to know him. He's dying to do a watch party with us. And
we need to
I don't know, am I going to be in town this Saturday night? Oh, no, they got UFC. They got a pay-per-view this Saturday night.
Yes,
so I'm thinking 2 weeks. If I'm back in town 2 weeks from Saturday, I got to figure out my schedule, man. But the very next Saturday night I'm in town, we're doing a watch party. Me, you, if you want to come along. The invitees will be you, Terry, Don, Man, and myself. And we're going to watch late night. Like, I think I want to start with 1, maybe 10 though. But, any of the Rumble power slaps because Rumble is not striking you for showing those anymore. So, going to send the invites out. I was thinking about like a 9 p.m. start time.
I'm down
about 2 hours when you fast forward through the filler and boring stuff, which we will.
Just a suggestion, though.
Yeah.
Go with the more recent ones because of the fighters.
Yeah, well, 10. Dude, we're just on 13. 10 is about as recent as you can get.
Okay, I thought you said 1.
And I can't run YouTube ones because I'll get struck. I have to run
I thought you said 1.
Rumble ones. So
I thought you said 1. But
no, I would love to start with 1, but nobody wants that. So
I know they wouldn't tune in.
That's the whole point. Well, they're not going to tune in anyway. Relax.
Oh, they're tuning in.
They're going to watch clips. Nobody watches our stuff. They watch
watch the clips, though.
We get 10,000 clip views and 80 live stream views. You know what I mean? It's weird how that works, man. I'm not an internet worker.
I mean, I love it. That's my fun. I like looking at that and seeing that. Oh man, they're watching that. All right, cool. But the little chunks and clips. That's what I like that.
Well, and believe it or not, man, our show is not huge live, but our Saturday show is. Our show that is run on Saturday is by far the most views, most watches, most shares of anything we're doing.
Awesome.
At all. Like it just, I don't know what it is, man, but people love watching us on Saturdays. And so I think it's one of those things where now they expect it. Like when you run a TV show, like I can tell you that Survivor runs on Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Central. And so you tune in at that time. I think people are used to or getting used to or getting in the habit of putting us on a Saturday while they're doing stuff and just listen to our craziness here in the and the wacky bits. So
all the good stuff we give you. Because
All
we
right,
give
man,
you all
so-
we got in these hours when we talk. That's for sure. Mike is damn sick of me when we're done. I tell you all that.
Oh, Amy says she was trying to say Vern is capable. He's a big boy. He can cook a salad. When she said something about cooking salad, I don't
When I
even
said
know.
Cobb salad, yeah.
And then she said also Cobb salad with ranch is the greatest dish man ever made.
I thought she might like it. I'm starting. See, I told you. People,
Pedestrian. Are you north
I've heard good
people?
things. I've heard good
She
things.
was like, I'm trying to take you to Idaho. Maybe you'll fall in love with it. I'm like, you understand Edmond, which is like the northernmost suburb of Oklahoma City. It's about an hour away from me. So I'm about 10 miles south of the city on I-35. So straight line, basically, 12 miles south of the city. Edmond is the very next. So it's Oklahoma City, then Edmond, right?
Yeah.
So it's on I-35. So I told her, I was like, you understand Edmond is too far north to me. You know what I mean? You want to talk about moving? We can talk about moving further south, but I have no desire to move any further. I'm not a northern person.
Don't.
Your food is a guy. I love. Hey, look, man! Shout out to Superfan, but and he's a great cook. But y'all's food isn't good. You know what I'm saying? Music isn't as good. There's no soul. The weather is cold. Like, no, man. You know what I'm saying? South, baby.
I actually saw a comedian do this. I saw a comedian do this. But then I've seen Don do this. I live here.
Yeah.
And then like Anthony lives here. Michiganites, this is their thing. If you want to know where somebody lives in Michigan, they show you their hand and they point to it. And that's just the thing. It really is. But that's another comedian's joke. So, I'm just explaining it. But yeah.
What does that have to do with living in the South?
There's nothing good up there. Is what I'm saying. That's why they have to show their hand to point it out where they live.
They have some good football. The North has some good football. I got to give them that. So, love them or hate them, they put some good football out. They put some good football
now, are you talking about Michigan in the 60s?
Green Bay Packers, Detroit Lions.
Okay, you're going
who got robbed. Look, if the NFL wasn't fixed
on Michigan.
If the NFL wasn't fixed, the Detroit Lions would have won the Super Bowl this year. And I will own and say that, and I mean that.
They were the best team in the NFL. They were the best team in the NFL.
But Washington had to win during an election year.
That helps. It always helps. And I got a flashback. Amy, Mike would not do well in Idaho.
No, thank you.
This is just a straight shot to Amy since I know she watches. No go on the Idaho for Miklo.
Thank you.
Got you, bro.
I want to be in Denver. Denver's too far north to me.
I don't know why anybody wants to be in Denver. And that's why I don't understand the people that are coming here that have nothing and they come to Denver. Denver's 3.5 hours away.
Amy says, I didn't have allergies till I moved to the South because you were born in the North. I had far worse allergies in Hawaii when I lived there because it's a different breed of pollen and trees and stuff, man. It's all good. Just know that, she says, Don says, it's beautiful here. You just don't know what you're missing out on. Look, I'm not saying it's not beautiful. And Don, you live that life. You live a great life, man, in that you're hunting and fishing and you know how to really take advantage of the most the land has to offer. And I love all of that, bro. But January where you live, okay? January, December, January, February, March in New York is cold to me. So March in Michigan, man, March in Mountain, no, thank you.
He got sissified fucked when it comes to the weather up north, Don. Miklo cannot handle that.
Amy says Denver sucks, and then
yes,
says, I appreciate you, Vern.
Anyway,
no, I'm not that. You know why? Because I watch y'all melt. Come with me to 105 degree weather, and we'll see who can hang out longer and stay
have a nipple
chill.
slip off. A nipple will literally slip off if you put me in 100 degree weather.
Yeah, man, and I live it.
Gone.
I live it. I do 45 minutes to an hour in a sauna 3 times a week. I live the heat.
Insane.
Man, it's healthy. It's what keeps me young, baby. So,
I think it would cause my arteries to really harden and clog up, and I'd probably end up with a heart attack in one of them things.
It actually do the opposite, but You should look it up.
does it?
Look up Dr. Rhonda Patrick. It releases heat shock proteins. It actually is great for your blood circulation, huge for your blood circulation. And the only way we extract bad chemicals from our body
It's through
is
sweat.
sweat or using the bathroom.
Dude,
We don't sweat enough. We don't near sweat. And you don't realize you don't sweat enough till you go sit in a sauna and you soak through your clothes like you've been swimming. And you're like, whoa. And you get all that grossness out and you feel so much better. So I recommend giving blood if you can, once every 90 days. That's very good for you.
I'll start.
Sauna as much as you can, 3 times a week if you can. All of these natural things.
I can see that. Well, but natural as far as, okay, I get that.
You're not putting any chemicals in your body to achieve a great health thing, and you don't have to go work out. You know what I mean? A lot of people hate working out, and if you can give blood and allow your body to create new, fresh blood, it oxygenates your body. It's huge. Bloodletting has been around for hundreds of years. It's actually a healthy, good thing. Yeah. And then sauna creates heat shock proteins, increases testosterone, increases brain function, and expels toxins in your body that literally might sit in your body for years if you don't do a sauna. It's the only way to get rid of some stuff is to sweat like that. And a lot of people just won't put themselves in that environment in the same way I will not be in 0-degree weather. You know what I mean? Whatever health benefits that is, man, I'll do a cold plunge because no, thank you. So.
Dude. Oh. Yo, Don. I don't know if you're on or you left. But maybe
it only hit -10 last winter, he said.
It was colder here. It got colder here in Nebraska than it did up in northern Michigan last year. For real.
Yeah, well, okay, I don't care. Okay, so if it was colder than -10, go to hell. All y'all can go to hell where it's warm and toasty. Because I'm not doing -10. Ever.
Don, we're taking a secret trip to Oklahoma City next winter. We're going to tranquilize him.
No.
We'll wrap him in a tarp, and we're going to take him on a hunting trip led by you up there on your property, and we'll just give Mike a test. A good old hillbilly mountain hunting test.
No,
You're up for it? Look, if you can handle growing up and fighting the way you had to fight growing up, you can handle.
You ever hunt gator? You ever go after gator?
I'd go after a gator if I saw some bitch.
Exactly. And you know what? You wouldn't need a freaking coat. Okay. And you wouldn't lose your toes due to frostbite. Okay. But so there's that. So there is that.
Now that's a fast action sort of thought reaction thing. When you're out hunting in the cold, a lot of time to contemplate your life choices.
When you're hunting in the warm, same. When you're hunting in the warm, same. You're just not freezing while you're doing it. Your brain can actually work well.
A lot more poisons in that summer hunting. A lot more poisons in that.
And what do those do? Give you natural immunities, make you stronger, make you tougher. Make the universe less dangerous to you.
All your
make
you
stronger. Boom. You know what I'm saying? So
I'll take our diamond head rattlers head over your cottonmouths down south.
We have rattlers too, man. We have them all.
Well, rattlers will give you a warning at least. We don't have cottonmouth up here.
No, they're scary.
Too far north, gets too cold in the winter, right? Then things just drop out of trees on people and say hi.
Dude, the sidewinders, the ones that are on water, like you're literally sitting there. You know what I mean? You're ankle deep in a lake, just shore fishing, having the best time of your life, and here comes a snake, and it looks like the devil. It looks so weird, and it's just on the water, just sidewind. You're like, oh my, is that thing on the water? What is that doing? And dude, I remember the first time I saw a sidewinder, I freaked out, man. It was like, and my grandpa was, I was a little kid, and my grandpa was like, don't let it bite you, it'll kill you. That's where I come from. You're on mute, baby. You're on mute. Muty McMutertons. You got to quit touching your microphone. You don't have the kind of microphone you can touch and do a show. And until you get that microphone, you can't touch your microphone. Sorry, dog. I mean that in the kindest way. I also like you're on mute, so I get to say whatever I want. You got nothing. How about just fix your mic?
I could have clicked that like 3 minutes ago. I was just playing with you.
Oh, don't try to be cool.
No, I accidentally.
No, you couldn't. Stop trying to be cool.
I let it be on longer. I was having more fun being silenced and animated. I like how white my teeth are from right here. Look how white those are.
Don Jacob said, Superfan said, I've had black bears walk up to me and I never freeze.
Word.
And Amy says, I'll allow that we can't move to Idaho, but I can't go to a swamp. Sorry, love. Fair. And then Mountain Home, Idaho, her hometown is originally named Rattlesnake Junction.
Ooh, how far away is her hometown from Rick's College?
I have no idea, man.
Come on.
I'll find out and let you know. I'm going. So you're gonna get all the info.
Quit some of this internet research and start doing some wife research, bro. I want to know how far her hometown is from Rick's because my sister went to Rick's College.
Yeah. I don't know about my wife because I don't know of a town she hasn't been to in 20 years. Geographical location to another town she may or may not have ever been to. Love it, bro. You're right. I'm a horrible husband. You know what I mean?
You see what these are right here?
See, you have that, and I have a wife. So, I'll tell you how to have a wife. How about that? You know what I'm saying?
This is what I like doing to Mike.
Maybe if you put the video games down, you'd have a woman. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I like pushing mics sometimes.
You like doing a lot of things. Now, if we can get you to do them well, that's
you know, you bag in one, shit the other.
The other, see
which one fills up first, brother.
Wait, she says not far.
Oh well,
whatever town you care about that she.
Well, no. Here, there's
it's close to the town she grew up in.
Okay.
Yes.
Now hold on.
You know, a guy who went to a college there. You have a special story about it. I'm sure.
Lisa, no. I had the same shirt that Napoleon Dynamite did.
Oh, so a far worse story than what I just made up.
Yes.
I have a shirt from a place that a guy in a movie was wearing, and that's close to the place that your wife is from. Oh, yeah, that's not everybody listening is so interested.
Are you going to shit on Napoleon Dynamite?
Of course. What a lame-ass movie.
What a
stupid, lame-ass movie.
Great movie.
Oh, my God. Not only not creative, but boring. Just, dear God.
You know what, though? In the Midwest, that was school. It wasn't your school.
And you wonder why I want to stay in the South.
You should be scared, son.
I'm not scared. I'm scared of gouging my eyes out due to boredom. I'm scared of manic depression that causes me to go on a rage. You know what I mean? I'm scared of that. I'm scared of a life of bland white food, white colored food, and no soul.
There ain't nothing that's white here.
Mashed potatoes.
My face. Okay. My name.
Exactly.
Everything in my life is white. Sorry. Hate me for it. But it is.
She says Mountain Home to Rexburg is 3.5 hours. All right, guys, enough of this. I am trying to keep listening as I watch our listener count tick down, and you guys, while I starve because you want to talk about Idaho. DM each other. Jesus Christ, enough. God, you know what I'm saying? I'm like,
Mike's word scared. Mike likes the word scared as much as I like.
I'm gonna come.
Sorry, guys, I got to be heavy on the sound effects because everybody is helping me with such entertaining topics. Like, oh, you're from there? Well, that's close to this place, and I have a T-shirt, and it looks like a T-shirt another guy wore, and that T-shirt has the name of a town on it from a place that's might be close to the place you live, huh? I swear to God.
They're right.
Do better.
They're right.
You're right
in the chat. You're right in the chat.
Do better.
Did you get them talking in the chat? Word?
No, that's not getting them talking in the chat. That's not getting them. That is one person having a boring ass conversation with you. And the actual host and producer of this show feels bored. So no, it's not getting them talking in the chat. Okay.
You're kind of boring though, Mike. I gotta say.
Yeah, if there's one thing I am, it's boring. We all know that. So just Idahoan and Nebraskan and white and plain. You're right. That is me to a T.
But you're not white. You got.
I'm a Wigger and you're a Wolo. You know, it's the Wigger and Wolo show. You know what I'm saying?
Somehow we're not. Couple of whitest dudes you'll ever see and meet in your life, but yet we're not. I'm so confused.
I like how they do it in other countries where it's more about like your region than it is your race. You know what I mean? Because you have people of all different skin colors, but they rep their region. They're like, I'm just from this region. Like it was back in the day, at least when it was East Coast, West Coast, North, South. It was like, yeah, because you know what? You take a black dude and a white dude in the South and they're eating the same food and living the same life. They might listen to different music, but other than that, it's pretty much the same life. And if you're a cool white dude, you're listening to their music anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, there's so much not difference. And I think probably a white dude and a black dude growing up in Ypsilanti, Michigan, that live 2 houses down from each other, have a lot more in common, you know what I mean, than a black dude in Houston. You know what I'm saying to the black dude in Ypsilanti, Michigan? They're just different folk. Yeah, I busted out Ypsilanti. How you like me now?
Ypsilanti?
That was for God.
Up in Ypsilanti.
All right, F off, she says. Amy's offended too. She says, all right, F off.
See, you made her mad.
She's laughing. It's a laugh.
I know.
It's a laugh. But yes, no, I'm annoying like that.
Still, though, I still like to say that you made her mad.
Yes. Oh,
maybe,
and all
maybe
of our listeners
conversation at dinner. I'm trying to help your dinner conversation because I know you got to be boring as hell at dinner too.
Absolutely.
Mike, come on. You entertained. You're a comedian, and you running all this stuff, and you're entertaining all these people, but you're not.
Absolutely.
Not
actually,
you're not entertaining at Cobb Salad.
I can't wait to just be quiet and not talk to people. Hey, man. Hey, look, on Friday after Caltrop, I'm like, oh, I don't have to go live for 3 days. Yay. You know what I mean? I don't. And not that I mind doing it, and it's not that I don't love it, but it is a thing. Until people really are putting 40, 50, 60, 80 hours a weekend from production to going live, they don't understand. And it's funny because I would listen to other podcasters and like successful ones. And, you know, they're like, man, and work. And I'm like, man, you're making money podcasting. How could you complain? And it's like, it's not that you're complaining so much as it does just take a lot out. You don't realize how much it takes out of you until, yeah, man. So, yeah, when you're done talking, sometimes you're just, the worst thing is to be a comedian because everybody thinks you're on all the time.
Yeah, you're.
And if you say anything and it's not funny, it's, oh, I thought you were comedian. No one's paying me right now to be on a stage.
Sucks. Yeah, that's your job. That was your profession. That's your job. So you're not going to use up your job, your material, the things that you've worked so hard on something like this. This is going to be a more natural, more thing. And maybe if 2 words out of an entire joke fit as a one-liner, you'll throw that in. But you're not trying to be a comedian here. You're Slab Master Mike, and you're running the like the television network almost.
Our own little visual radio station.
Visual radio station. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
What we're trying to do that's my idea.
Yeah.
Eventually I want to have like, those AM stations. It's just like a freestanding building with a giant tower. You know what I mean? And they're doing their thing and their office is cool, but
that little building right underneath.
Yeah. And like that's I want us to have something like that eventually. We wouldn't need the tower because internet. But you know what I mean? We have our cool little studio, man. I still have a dream of doing a studio on top and coffee shop, you know what I mean, kind of cool live event space downstairs, so you had income coming in a place where the community was consistently engaged, and upstairs you're doing a cast, and there's actually like a maybe a 30 to 50 seat room, you know what I mean, and so people could actually come in and do a live show with you. Or you could do it, more intimately, and
different sets, different desks, couple different desks.
And downstairs is like a, cool local style coffee shop, comfortable seating, good food, good coffee, and like that. That's the dream eventually. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. And it's brilliant because any sponsor that you have, you can stock their product in your store.
Yep.
So it's like, hey, come see us, and you can actually have a destination. Like if Joe Rogan did do that with the Mothership comedy Mothership, right? It's the most popular club in the world now, and it's because he's in Austin and he wanted to do something for the community and with the community that also kept him relevant. And it works on all the levels.
I need to find a community I want to do something for.
Right. I agree. That's why we're trying to get you here. So,
well, I can. There's no problem, honestly.
And it's just a matter of time.
I mean,
and I want to come up there, before everything goes away.
I would like you to before everything goes away.
Yeah, before you, turn the page on the next chapter. I'd love to just see the setup, man. You know what I'm saying?
You just come up. Well, and actually, you guys you would love this part to visit for a few days because there's a lot of history here from the Old West.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, the Oregon Trail, the actual Oregon Trail runs right through here, right through town. And they got the monument, Scottsbluff National Monument here. There'd be things, but both you and Amy would enjoy if you came out to visit. So
absolutely, man, for sure.
Yeah.
I think I've always thought Nebraska was cool, man. Nebraska is to us Southern and Midwesterners, Nebraska is the Dagestan of the United States, right? It's just where they grow them rough boys.
Yeah,
just the big hard, just big, hard-headed, fight a bull. You know what I mean? Like literally headbutt a bull kind of folks. I'm surprised there's not more slap fighters from Nebraska. And I think there would be. It's just y'all don't, most Nebraskans don't care. They're like, I don't care about being famous. No. I can slap people in my hometown. They're just like,
I just go down to the bar on a Thursday night.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, man, to me, Nebraska's always been like the Dagestan of the United States. It's just there's a weird toughness from dudes there. I remember that from the OU days and football days, man. Like Nebraska just was big and mean always.
Craig, Tommy Frazier. And let's not forget Brooke Behringer, who would have been an NFL quarterback had he not had that airplane crash and died. He's the one that filled in for Tommy Frazier that year. They went to the national title, and both of them played in the title game. But the thing is about the Nebraskas too, most of them are just good at taking punches. A lot of them.
Like a bull.
Yeah. Yeah, you can just beat on us, and we're still going to keep breathing and talking. That's what sucks. Black eyes, broken nose, fat lip. Shit's still going to be flowing.
It's like that punk rock song. If you're going to be dumb, you got to be tough. If you're going to be dumb, you got to be tough.
That's a bull riding song. It should be. It should be a bull fighting song. I'd have loved to fight Abracadabra on that song going on in the background. That'd been great.
Hell yeah.
Pinned up against the pins. People loved it. That's a sad thing. They like to see a good juke in a bullfight, but they get even louder when they see the guy get thrown 20 feet in the air. They love that part. They see him get pinned up getting hooked up against the rails. Yeah, they love that.
Well, just like NASCAR.
Cheers.
What's the most exciting thing you can see in NASCAR is a car flip 13 times and then explode into a ball of flames. That's what people really want to see. Yeah. Just like MMA. They don't want to see a beautiful, technical, jiu-jitsu, take him down to the ground and roll around, you know what I mean, on the side of the cage for 18 minutes. And then, you know what I mean, on the 19th minute, get him into an arm bar and he taps. No one wants to see that. No one wants to see a nice, clean race with no wrecks. No. You know what I mean? And the winner win by 10 seconds, and nobody racing him hard. You know what I'm saying? And no one wants to see a guy come out, ride the bull for 8 seconds? 10 seconds?
8 seconds.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Not get hurt, not a scratch on him, jumps off, waves to the crowd, walks away and go and gets a beer. No one wants to see that. No. They want to see that dude mauled. They want to see him thrown. They want to see that dude be just like a NASCAR, get flipped 3 times and then explode.
They want to see him get hung up. You see the two protectors jump onto the bull. You got to get in that neck into their power where they can't get you. Get into that neck, get a hold of that neck, and then you got to cut that rope, right? That's the excitement they want to see. They want to see that psycho bull that ain't had his shots or ain't had nothing right. That the owner just kicked him in his butt his whole life with a 2x4 just to make him meaner. Yeah,
I heard they do all kinds of stuff to bulls to make them mean, dude.
I
I
haven't
heard
seen.
bees too. Like they'll lead bees to, or they'll lead bulls to where like beehives are. Let them get stung because it makes them mean.
Yeah.
From what I
See,
hear.
now we ended up with some bulls that had that treatment in the past because they were past PBR bulls. But out at Boone Thompson's, he ran a clean stable. The arena was really nice that we fought in, that we practiced in. And you know, he was a good guy. But yes, there are bad guys out there that really get the heat put in them bulls because they made them bulls' lives misery.
Yeah.
And he treated them almost like babies.
And that's a good thing, man, because you don't want a mean bull. You want a show bull. You want to pull a bull
It'll
that's
do
going to
its
put on a
job.
good show.
That'll do its job with a good show, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then turn and go right back into the, you know, right.
So
back.
because because people can, because if you guys don't know this, bulls in the rodeo are their own stars. There are bulls that are their very own stars that people pay money to watch that bull.
Bodacious.
Yeah. So yeah, man. So you want one of those bulls, not just a mean bull that's hard to control, that has a short lifespan or might kill a cowboy.
Yeah.
I always want to do the horses more than the bulls, because I always felt like the bulls, I'm like, it's 8 seconds and it is what it is, and they're not tameable. No one rides bulls anyway. But horses, on the other hand, it's a lot harder. It looks like the degree of difficulty is higher because horses are smarter.
And they're meaner. Those
Yeah.
I would never fight. I would never fight a saddle bronc horse.
Really?
Never.
Over a bull, you wouldn't.
Over a bull. I'd fight a bull any day of the week still before I'd ever step in an arena.
Okay, now this is interesting. So what makes the horse, okay, so you're a cowboy and you're deciding whether you're going to be a bull rider or a bronc rider. What makes the horse more dangerous, man? This is interesting. I love this.
The horses, these the horses they bring in out here to the Wyoming College that we don't pin off for the bullfights. We leave it in an open, full arena. You know, that kind of thing. Those horses there, they've fed them psycho beef at some point to where it's almost like they want to kill the human. I mean, seeing these cowboys getting sat in up on the rails there behind the chutes, seeing them trying to get on just in there. Oh my God. And then to see how hard those hooves that those bucking those barebacks and saddle broncs, the power and the strike they have when they're pissed. I don't want to take them hooves to the head.
It seems like, and I could be wrong, but it seems like they turn harder and more.
And they're faster.
Like a bull will just try to jerk you, and then I know from what I've heard, and correct me if I'm wrong with any of this, I completely submit to you on this, but from what I've heard, a bull will also try to whip its head back to bust your head. Like the bull knows that your head is going to come down, and so
it's the natural bucking of a bull that as they go down to get back up, they got to raise that head up to get that weight and momentum going that way. So it's not like I'm going to kill this cowboy on me. But if I'm bucking as hard as I can and as ferocious as I can, my head's going to get thrown back so I can get the utmost lift when my hinds push up my front end. You see? It's all like a leverage thing.
Whereas the horse is trying to twist you off, right? And get your balance off. Like the horse is like, I'm going to throw, you know what I mean? My back end and